Hello everyone and welcome to a waifu-only playthrough of Trials of Mana. Essentially, this is going to work a lot like my The Love at First Sight or Saya no Uta experience videos, in the sense that it's going to be an edited playthrough with only the highlights included. So unlike with my last playthrough in which I recorded the whole game, in here you will not see the full 36-hour run, obviously. You're just going to experience this as 2, maybe 3 30-minute videos with the best moments of the run. So without further ado, let's start. Now, I'm really interested in how this is going to even work at all. Because I know you can do it, but I'm not sure how it's really going to work. Because I've played this game a couple of times. It's one of my favorite games actually. And before anyone misunderstands and think I'm like super old or anything, I'm not a fan of the series itself. And I haven't played the original game that this is a remake of. I simply bought this game, played it, and became a fan of this game specifically. Just to clarify. But how it works is that there are 3 paths that the game can take, and what determines it, from what I can tell, is the couple, the main couple that you choose. Because you see, like here, there's a choice of 6 characters, and you can choose 3 for your party. There are 3 main couples, each with their own separate storyline and antagonists. They are Duran and Angela, which I'm going to choose as my main character. Ries, which I'm going to choose as my first companion. And Hawkeye. They two form another couple of main characters in this game. And finally we have Charlotte and Kevin. And whichever one of these couples is in your main party is pretty much determines which path the story will take, from what I understand. With the third companion that's not a part of the main couple you chose, well, their story is still told, but it's kinda glossed over, and the main couple story is the one that receives focus. So if I have no main couples in my party, if I have 3 girls, right? What's gonna happen? Which path will the story take? Will it only be determined by the main character, and then we're gonna gloss over both of our companion stories? Or are we going to gloss over all their stories? Because I really don't see a way this can work, so this playthrough is going to be a little interesting for me as well. But that's enough dilly-dallying, let's just start. I mentioned that I didn't care about the story for most of the characters, but even if they were better, I think Angela would still be my favorite. Because I just like her, you know, in a complete sense. Obviously her design is a part of it, but there's also her personality, her story like I mentioned, and her gameplay is also my favorite out of all the characters. So I feel like even if the other characters were better, Angela would still be one of my all-time waifus. The same way that this game is one of my all-time favorites. Oh yeah, just the fate of the kingdom, nothing major. Wait, I just noticed, Angela is way taller than this guy. Either Angela's a really tall lady or this dude's a manlet. He's just like me, for real, for real. Another thing that to this day I don't understand is like no one else around the kingdom, and as you see probably, not even the queen has elf ears, only Angela. And this is never explained, like no one ever comments on it, it's never touched on, we never see anyone else with elf ears as well. It's just a very unique thing about her design that I'm surprised goes completely unexplained, as far as I'm aware at least. Look, I'll even like show it more closely to you. Look, she has elf ears. She's pretty much the only character in the game, as far as I can remember, that has elf ears. And again, never explained, never touched on, never even remotely tackled by the plot. Really weird. Oh, just another thing, just because I said this was one of my favorite games of all time, don't expect me to actually be good at it, okay? Especially at the whole dodging part. Because I'm not, like, at all. I play on the highest difficulty due to pure masochism, I'll be honest. I don't know why, but not only does every merchant in this game look like this, which is, you know, fine, it helps to save, like, art and development resources and all, but they all also do this weird little dance. Like, it's weirdly charming, honestly. I like it. Nothing? Really? Guess I just broke some random vase for no reason. You know, that was probably someone's property. That was probably like a family heirloom or something. Now, one interesting thing about this level specifically is that you can try to fight this guy, but no matter which character you're playing as or how much you grinded, like how many abilities you have or whatever, like you can never beat him. He just beats you in a cutscene. And that's really funny because later on, not only will there be a scene where one of the characters will knock one of these guys out with one attack, but you will also be able to defeat many of them at the same time at a later point in the game. Like they aren't even a boss, they just become a regular enemy. And I get that this is supposed to convey like, oh, how much your character has grown, look how strong they are right now, but I don't know, it just makes us seem really pathetic for not being able to do anything right now, you know? And for some characters like Angela that are essentially super weak right now and only have a wooden staff and can't even use magic, like that makes sense. But imagine if I was playing as a character like Duran and I still got like my ass whooped without being able to do anything, like in a cutscene. That would just look embarrassing, man. Oh, finally one of these has something. Sorry for going on tangents like this. You guys should know at this point that I just like to talk about random stuff when I'm playing games. For real, I do this even when I'm not recording. Like, this isn't commentary exclusive to a recording. I just like do this naturally, and then I turn on the camera, and this simply allows you to experience my normal activity, my normal schizophrenic delusions. I really should stop talking. The more I talk, the worse I sound, honestly. For some reason, Riez is the more popular character among like her and Angela, and I don't get why. Like, she's just so boring, man. Not only is Angela much prettier and sexier, but her personality is just way more charismatic, you know? I really don't get why Reyes is the more popular one. I really don't. I actually kind of feel bad playing these games, honestly. Because while there are some enemies that, you know, look like real threats, most of what you fight in this game are actually these cute little woodland creatures, you know? Like, for most of this game, even later on, it just feels like you're constantly bullying, like, helpless woodland creatures that weren't really doing anything wrong. But I guess they do attack you first, so maybe they're not as innocent as they look. I don't know why, but I just remembered something silly. At this point, it shouldn't be surprising to hear that I've browsed that type of art for this game, right? And so I came across a piece where, like, Angela's walking and someone throws a magic stone at her, which makes her clothes disappear. And I remember seeing that art and then going to the comment section, and someone had said, like, oh, the stone pretty much didn't have to do anything. She's barely wearing any clothes as is. I don't know why. It's a pretty lame comment if you really think about it. The joke is not even that creative, but it just cracked me up for some reason. I don't know, my sense of humor may be just broken or something. You know, I didn't talk too much about it, but a thing I really appreciate about this game is that it really allows you to choose your party, you know? So, if there are characters you don't really like, you can exclude them from your party and form a party of characters whose gameplay and stories are all to your tastes. And not only that, but this freedom of choice allows you to even make whoever you want the main character. Because let's be real, if this was a standard game, like, Duran would obviously be the main character, and Angela, and Hawkeye, and a ton of characters I really like would be assigned to secondary roles, like the hero's friend or a random love interest. But with the system that Trials of Mana provides, I can make whoever I want the main character. I can make Angela the main character. I can make, like in my first playthrough, Hawkeye the main character. And it really gives, like, these characters that would generally be assigned to more secondary or background roles the chance to shine, you know, the chance to be the heroes of their own story. And I just think that's cool, because I can even do something silly like actually have Duran in my party, but have him be a secondary character, and have Angela, which a character which, again, in any other story would be just some random love interest, right? The main character. And the freedom to do even that is really cool. I know not every game can do this, right? It would be a pain in the ass, frankly. As someone who's dabbled in programming and even game making at some point, I understand that, like, for every game to do this would not only become stale, but be a pain in the ass for the people actually making it. But I don't know, I just wish the option was there more often, because this is a feature I really like about this game and that I wish was present in just more games in general, you know? Oh, it's that girl from before.
もしご迷惑でなければご一緒させてください。実は
I always like going through these flashback chapters. As it's stated here, it's pretty much useless, especially because I already know their story, but I just like to experience it just as an extra gameplay segment or for completion's sake, back for more, for a better background on the character story. I don't know, I just like to, okay? So we'll be going through that, as well as through Charlotte's backstory when she joins the party. I hope you guys don't mind too much. I wasn't trying to go there, I just wanted the items here. Calm down, man. I don't even know why I bother collecting these items. Like they said, like I'll pretty much be able to take none of them with me through the campaign. But as stated as well, this is kind of useless in the first place. Like I already know what's going to happen. Like it's not like seeing this story again is even going to add anything to me. I guess I'm just doing all this for fun. So yeah, screw it. I won't get to take any of these items with me to my adventure. I don't care. I'm going to collect them anyway. And now we have our secondary character. Oh, I thought something was bugged because she wasn't moving.
もうせっかちね。ちょっと待ってて。今結界を解くから。
This scene wasn't me being actually impatient. You know, this is just supposed to happen.
これで OK よ。
You have no option of actually asking Fairy to do that first. You're actually meant to just run your head against the wall.
私たちの邪魔をしないでください。当たって。よし。
You dumbass, did you actually fall for that?
何も問題なかったわね。
Like, seriously, Riaz, I expected better from you. You know, I'm scolding her. As if I didn't take like 30 damage from a goddamn mushroom while she took like 14. Yeah, clearly she is the incompetent one here.
ここは私。ちょっとあんた、何やってんのよ。ダメじゃない。ガキがこんな危ないところに来ちゃう。だって。
Yep, guess we're getting another backstory chapter. Back to back. That was a lame joke, I'm sorry. Before any of you say anything, though maybe this will make you say even more, that's not a woman, that's a trap. That's a really pretty boy. Let me warn you of that right away.
して昨夜の湖の上に現れた光。
That's a thing I
まるで昼間のようなまばゆい
always
光でした。
noticed from the first time I played this game. Doesn't the goddess of mana in her statue form
最近のマナの変動とのアストリアの
like
村
kinda look like Angela? I don't know, the two just seem to resemble each other in
そ
my
れにジャゾ
opinion.
の方からも
One thing that's interesting is that Charlotte is... I don't know if you'd call it deconstruction or a subversion of the 500-year-old lolly. Because although she looks very young for her age, even in like real years, she isn't exactly an adult. She's just 15. So, I don't know, maybe it's just a trope not applied to its usual final conclusions instead of a full-on inversion. Or maybe it's not an inversion or a different type of application at all. Maybe I'm just making this way more complicated than it really is, like I tend to do, as you probably noticed. But anyway, I just find this interesting. Also, I know there are a lot of people who have played this game think that Charlotte is really annoying, and while I don't agree with these people, I do understand, especially in the English translation, since, as you probably seen, in the dub she speaks with this really like gimmicky way of portraying a childlike speech, whereas in Japanese she just does that cutesy anime thing of adding like an onomatopoeia at the end of her sentences, or just a cute word in general, like how some characters will end their phrases with desu or one or nya if they are animal girls, for example. Kemonomimi, I think it's what's actually called. And yeah, the way they adapted that to English just seems really gimmicky and annoying, so I don't blame the people who dislike the character, but I do not agree. It's where I'm trying to get at.
失礼なガキンチョですね。こう見えてもシャルロットはあんたみたいな本当のガキンチョと違って花も恥じらう15歳。
Only in like Italy or something. Video game characters have such like precise control over their sleep, you know. Wherever I go to bed, I can either only sleep for about half an hour or the full 8, you know. I can either take short naps or I'm straight up knocked out for a good few hours. Okay, that jumping really far part I do understand, but how is she going to land safely? Like, wouldn't she just die due to the sheer height of her fall or something? Like, seriously, how are any of these people alive after that? Fucking magic, I guess. Like, I was talking about this earlier, but due to the way this game works, theoretically, you can make even this little peep squeak, like the main character. Like, imagine what people in the campaign of someone who actually did that thought. Like, imagine you look at this child, like, she's 15 years old, so she's still a child. This still applies, even if, like, she's technically older than she looks. But imagine if someone just looked at this kid and had to come to terms with the fact that, oh my god, this is the chosen one. We're all screwed. Like, for as unfitting as someone like Angela or Hawkeye seem, at least they look competent enough to, you know, end up somewhere. Like, to actually be able to do anything. But imagine the timeline in which the fate of the world rested on her little shoulders. Like, imagine the sheer horror of being a citizen of the world and coming to terms with the fact that this is your chosen one. This is the hero. The fate of the world is on the shoulders of. Like, I feel like straight up staring at the face of Cthulhu would somehow be less madness inducing. You know, it would be a slightly smaller horror than having to confront this reality. Though, now that I think about it, this argument could pretty much be applied to any of like any story with an underage protagonist, like an underage hero, you know, which is most anime. So yeah, maybe it's either a really strong point, a really strong criticism against a lot more stories than I thought, or said fact just proves how silly my initial criticisms or thoughts or realizations, whatever you want to call them, were in the first place. I don't know, I guess you be the judge. And that will be it for today. If you like this video, please do all the normal YouTube stuff, you know, like, comment, subscribe, etc. And if you're feeling generous, please also consider supporting me through either one-time paid comment donation or by joining my channel membership for extra perks depending on how much you're willing to give me each month. Regardless of how much you donate, know that I appreciate every cent you're willing to give me, and even if you choose not to donate, always know that I super appreciate you just for being here. With that out of the way though, I bid you guys farewell. Obscure Anime out.